Dean, and I'm one of the trustees of the Anglo-Jordanian Society. The Anglo-Jordanian Society is a UK registered charity where we basically try to promote the friendship and understanding of the people between the UK and Jordan. We also try to increase public knowledge of Jordan, the country, the economy, the culture, its people. And finally, we also aim to provide relief from distress or need or hardships. It's basically a focal meeting point for the two nations to build bridges and be together. If you've joined us before, you know that this is an informal chat where we try to kind of shed the light on initiatives and SMEs, on charities that are operating in Jordan and hear their stories, their successes and their journeys. And with the purpose of celebrating them, but we also raise money to try and give hope or give a bit of help for those initiatives and those charities back home. And if you haven't joined us yet, please join our membership. It's a very nominal amount. It's like 4 or 5 cups of coffee from the famous brands a year. So it's £20 a year for individuals. And if you're an organization interested to know more, please contact us and we're happy to have a meeting with you. Today, we are so excited because we'll be joined by a very unique initiative. It is Underground Amman. And as we shared on our website, Underground Amman is a way to explore the untold story of the like the hidden artistic street art of Amman, as well as the hip hop culture. And we're very happy to have Alauddin and Hannah with us today. And I'll let them share their story. We're going to go through their journey, their aspirations, and any exciting news. Please feel free to be part of this conversation. As I said, it's informal. You can leave any questions for us on the chat, and hopefully you will enjoy the next hour with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alauddin and Hannah, welcome.
So much,
Last time I saw you, we were on the streets of Amman back in August. We did a 2-hour tour in the midst of the heat, but we still loved it. And actually today, my 9-year-old daughter was like, "Don't let them tell you the story about the police station that I started there." So yes, we look forward to hearing from you. Please tell us your story.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Maisa. I'm so happy and excited to be here in this beautiful webinar. My name is Alauddin, and I'm 33 years old. I basically started doing hip hop and street art here in Amman back in 2004. In 2004, I was like 14 years old, and I usually tell people that growing up here in Amman at that time, it was very difficult, and it wasn't like the healthiest situation, especially for kids to grow up in, because of the political situation, economy, education, and so many things. So it was very difficult. And also, I grew up in a Palestinian refugee camp here in Amman. So life was not very easy, you can say. It's very complicated. But one day, by coincidence, I was going back home and I watched my favorite cartoon show. Then my parents watched the news. And in the news, they put the news about hip hop concert in New York. And it was for head spin world record, in a breakdance when they spin on their heads. Yeah. So for me, when I saw that, it was something magical because I've never seen like this moves before, and the music and the colors behind them, it really attracted me into it. And then also I was more lucky because after 5-6 months, when I saw that news, we had a friend coming from Dubai to visit his family in our neighborhood. And this guy, he actually was a hip hop artist. So he came and he started showing me and all of my friends, like the kids in the neighbor, like how to do some moves and, you know, some stuff. He told us just a little bit about it. But unfortunately, he has to go back to Dubai after just 1 week he spent in Amman. So we could not really have a teacher where we can like learn. So the only thing, actually, he left a videotape for another hip hop concert in Germany. So we start watching this videotape like every day. Me and all the kids and the neighbors, we start, you know, instead of just wasting our time, I would say, in the street, in doing many things, we find this beautiful art form, and it's suitable to do it even in the street. You don't need to go to like a proper dance school or something. Does not require anything. It's just you and the floor. Yeah, so we start practicing and watching this videotape and trying to copy what we watch by ourselves. And that's why I usually say that you will find hip hop in Jordan is different than anywhere else. Yeah, because we added our touch into it in flavor. Till now, yeah. So then later on, when the internet became more accessible, we start searching. Then we find out that hip hop is a culture and it has so many beautiful messages. And the most important message in hip hop, we say peace, love, unity, having fun, and it's all fly together with the music. Yeah. So we truly felt connected into it, and we felt like, yes, this is what we want. You know, we want to have more peace and love. So we start searching more about hip hop culture, and it became like our daily routine to practice, to meet. Like every weekend, we go, all the people who find about it, and we start gathering in one location here in Amman, in the Culture Street, Shara Thaqafi. And we start practicing together. At the beginning, everything was in the street. Then little by little, we actually start organizing some events here and there, and the scene started growing. And also I got into street art and graffiti. I used to be one of the first graffiti writers in Amman. Then we reach up to like international, I would say, and the regional level. And we have achieved really great achievements. Like, for example, in 2013, I actually won the UK championship for Middle East and Africa. It was in Dubai. Yeah. So that's one of my
achievements. Yeah.
Yeah. And also the guys, everyone did something. In street art also started growing. I would say since 2006. Then in 2014, street art became like the most active, I would say, art in Amman. There is so many pieces now. And then I met Hannah. And she was just coming from Colombia. She's gonna share also her story with you. And then she told me, why don't we start doing street art tours? Because she think I'm really good storyteller.
You are, definitely, Hannah, I agree with that.
Yep. So we started this initiative basically to introduce the street art and the hip hop culture and the street art scene in Amman to people from different places, and to show like the hidden, I would say, art in Amman, where actually most of these artists are not very well known, or and also artists, I think, here, they don't like to talk about their art. I think it's very complicated situation. We can talk about it maybe later.
But it's fascinating. Like when we went around Amman, like it was, you know, you see these pieces sometimes when you drive past, but actually hearing the stories behind them and hearing the stories of the people behind those pictures and what it means, you know, the blue boy, or you know, the boats. My girls, like they still talk about that. So I really kind of yeah, I find telling the story is as important as seeing it, as you kind of discover the Amman scene.
Yeah.
Hannah, do you want to tell us your story?
Yeah, I guess that's where I come in. My name's Hannah Redekop. I'm originally from Canada. I arrived here in 2018 by accident. I was trying to get into Palestine for human rights work, and I was denied entry. So I was stuck in Amman for 3 months and didn't really have a plan. And I've traveled fairly broadly with this human rights organization, consider myself a fairly well-traveled person. And I come to Jordan and I'm like, what's all this street art? Like, I was not expecting this. And if I'm not expecting this, then all of the tourists who are coming here are definitely not expecting it, right? And so at the same time, I meet this guy and he's telling me all these stories. And I'm like, people need to hear these stories. Like, we have to tell this. And I had just come, I was living in Colombia for 5 years, and they have like top 10 graffiti in the world. And they have several excellent graffiti tours in different cities that I had been on several times. And so I was like, why don't we do that here? We need to tell these stories. So yeah, I started talking with him, and again, he's a natural storyteller. He fit the role perfectly, and we kind of just hashed it together on our own, figuring out what we're doing on the fly. But it's been an absolutely incredible and amazing experience. I mean, the reason that we need to tell these stories is that it's this value system of values that's behind hip hop that nobody knows about. Like, they know about the rap culture, they know that it's music, but they don't understand that this is like a very well established culture, and that there's a reason the youth of Jordan want to be a part of this culture. They want to make change, and we want to support that. So essentially, we've been creating this tour as, you know, a job for us, but also a way to reinvest into the community. And one of the biggest struggles that he's always told me about is, like, since 2014, the boom of 2014, since then it's on a decline, and we've lost a lot of really amazing hip hop artists, Jordanian hip hop artists, who have won competitions worldwide because they can't make a living here. Gone to Germany, they've gone to the US, and we want that talent here. We want to be able to invest into the community here so that we can build up that community here, and Jordan can become well known for its hip hop culture.
Yeah, and I guess it's a way for the youth to express themselves. So, you know, different people use different artistic ways to express one's, you know, journey or frustration or even success or happiness, etc. And I found that's the most prominent part of the tour, is that you get exposed to all these stories through this art. And but I'll let you show us, if you don't mind, showing us some of the tour, taking our listeners with us.
Sure, let me just pull up our
Yes.
can you see our screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. If you can make it, yes, perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, great. So maybe before we start talking about this, just want to also clear one point, which hip hop culture contains 5 elements or 5 different art forms. And as Underground Amman, we include most of them by doing the tour and telling the stories from different art forms, and also by doing hip hop jam in different places here in Amman. And next month also we will have a hip hop gallery in the National Gallery. We'll come to it at the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, leave that excitement at the end.
So in hip hop culture, there is 5 elements or different art forms. Number 1 is the DJ. Number 2 is breaking or breakdance. Number 3 is beatbox, you know, when you make a human sounds. Number 4 is rap music. And lastly is graffiti or street art. Yeah, cool. All right, so Underground Amman. This is a picture from the tour, and this is actually the first mural we see in our tour. So we actually started our tour 3 years ago, yeah, in September 2019. And when we started, I went out and I studied like the road and how we're gonna go. And actually there was a different mural on this wall. But then, then later on, before COVID, like 2 weeks before the lockdown started in Jordan, another artist came and painted this piece in the top of the other one, yeah. And would you like to hear the story behind this piece or?
I'll leave the tour to you. Just go with the flow.
So maybe you can see actually the details and what this mural is telling us. Like we can see the columns, the ancient columns from the citadel here in Amman. And next to it, also we can notice in white color, the Abdun Bridge and like in the center of the city. And there is also the Boulevard Towers now, the big towers in Amman, and the red carpets, the Bedouin carpets, and it's all mixed with different leaves and different colors. And by the way, this is all done by Jordanian street artist. His name is Yazan Mismar. And Yazan, he has so many beautiful pieces all around Amman. And I think he liked the cubic shapes a lot. You will find so many cubes in his murals. And finally, he made this project for the environment and to show that Amman will look more beautiful if it's more green and more clean. Yeah. Then on our way in the tour, we see also very popular street artist. You will notice like his signature everywhere in Amman. And his signature is the paper boat or the origami boat at the top of her head. And everywhere you go in Amman, you will find these boats, yeah, this artist. And this artist, he called himself Sardine for the fish, Sardine. If you notice, this is a mermaid and she's wearing a t-shirt with a skeleton of a fish. And I think one of his subjects and ideas, it's very interesting. He talks about the water issue in Jordan. Yeah. Where actually we're just talking about it, where the Dead Sea, every year the water level is going down 1 meter, and also most of Amman, I would say, is very, very poor city with water, and how actually Jordan is the second poorest country in the world with drinkable water. Yeah. So street artists in Amman, in Jordan, they touch, I would say, many different subjects, yeah. For example, the water, we'll see mental health, there is positive, I would say, images, and yeah, many other things.
It's a very interesting subject and important to highlight, but yeah, I agree. And this is my favorite.
Yeah, then we also touch in our tour also part of the Arabic history. And we see this is an Arabic poetry. It's very popular poetry. And the original one, this is the reverse one. And the original one, it's not written here because everyone knows it and everyone uses it. Yeah, and it's kind of this motivating speech because the first verse from the original poem, it says that not everything you want, you will get it, because the wind does not blow as the ship wants. So usually when someone is motivated to do something, someone will come and use this verse in this negative way, I would say, and say, you know, the wind does not go as the ship wants. And another artist came and reversed this popular poem in very, very motivating way. And now it says that the wind will blow as our ship wants, because we are the wind and we are the sea and we are the ship. So this is someone who wanted something by his strength, he will get it, even if a human and genie fighted him for. So always aim to the summit of things and you will get it. The wind will blow as our ship wants.
Amazing. I love it. Every time you say it, I love it. Do you mind saying it once in Arabic? Just maybe some of our listeners know Arabic, but quickly, please, because it it moves the soul in all honesty.
Yeah, I think many people come to the tour and it's their favorite part. Okay, so بالعربي تجري الرياح كما تجري سفينتنا. نحن الرياح ونحن البحر والسفن. إن الذي يرتجي شيئا بهمته يلقاه لو حاربته الإنس والجن. فاقصد إلى قمم الأشياء تدركها تجري الرياح كما أرادت لها السفن.
I always get goosebumps when I hear that story. Amazing,
Me too,
honestly.
and I don't even understand the Arabic.
It's amazing. Thank you for sharing it.
You want to say something?
I was just going to say, by this time in the tour, people usually have a lot of questions. Is there anything in the chat?
Not that I can see, no. Dima, if there's any on the chat that I haven't seen, please let us know. Please go ahead for now.
So then we pass through this beautiful piece, and actually also we noticed this mural in different locations in Amman. I think there is a Q&A of that. Oh no.
Chat is disabled from your end. Oh, there's a question. Do you have permission to paint these walls?
Great question. I usually actually have this question at this moment from the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are very interested to know how's the relationship between the street artist and the government. And I think now we have very, very beautiful relation. And usually I say proudly, Jordan has become one of the first countries in the world to have street art as legal art. Yeah. So we actually, there is two types for the permission to do it, basically. So number one, if you want to paint something in a big scale, in a public space, you need permission by the municipality. And they're very, very collaborative. Then if you want to paint something in a small scale, you just need always the permission from the owner.
Of the building owner.
Yeah. So, yeah, so now actually also the society in Amman, most of them, they like the street art, they appreciate it and they respect it. So when we paint in the street, usually the cars will stop and, you know, like, thank you, sir, shukran, shukran, thank you. And sometimes also the neighbors will bring us food and coffee and tea. Yeah, so now I would say it became more accepted and more appreciated. But still.
You have to be, yeah, you have to. No, I mean, it is also part of the urban planning. Is like if you allow, you know, it's kind of unique. You need to keep it as also unique as it is. But yeah, with some regulations, I don't know if it's appropriate to share the story of how one of the artists decorated the police station, and since then they've had some interesting, yeah, like I don't know if you would like to share a bit of that.
Definitely. All right, sorry. So yeah, one of the stories actually that when we start doing hip hop and street art in Amman, that it was not accepted because most of the people, they had wrong images, I would say, about it. And they thought like street art is vandalism, other things, stuff like this. But little by little, they start accepting. And in 2006, that accident happened. We had a chance to do a hip hop performance in a big festival. And before the festival, we were sitting all together and thinking about how we will start this festival to show good image in front of all of these people who are coming to watch us. And one of the artists, he used to call himself Aro. He used to do beatbox and he was super good in beatbox, like super talented. So Aro suggested to start the festival by playing the Jordanian national anthem. Yeah, and but in beatbox. Yeah,
that didn't go well.
Yeah. So after the performance, to be honest, was really amazing and people love it. But after the performance, the police thought they came and they took Aro to the prison and they said that was not a respectful way to play the national anthem.
Sorry, Aladdin, I just want to stop you. I'm getting a lot of messages that saying the chat is disabled. If the chat is disabled, can you use the Q&A to leave your questions? Thank you, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm sure Dima will resolve it in the background. Apologies for stopping the story. Please go ahead.
Beautiful. Yeah. So this artist, he actually went to the prison for like 2 or 3 days. Then they let him out. And since then, he stopped doing beatbox and he started doing street art. And then after he started doing street art, again, it was kind of not accepted also. So the police thought that he was vandalizing the wall. So they came and they took him again to the police station. And in the police station, he actually offered the police that he will paint something inside the police station in exchange of his freedom. Yeah, to let him.
wow.
Yeah, and they actually agreed. And since then, other police station actually start contacting street artists to go to the police station to do street art. Yeah, and this is how street art became more accepted and more legal here in Amman. So we had different police station till now. They had street art, and I know that there is one recently contacted one of the street artists to go and to do big mural, like 5 floors piece on the police station. Yeah. Once it's ready, I might send you the picture. So you can
Yes, please. Yes, please. No, yeah, continue then telling us about these this piece and the ones, yeah, the blue boy.
All right. So I don't know how much we should actually talk about these pieces because all of them we go through in the tour, and I would love also to invite you all to come to the tour so you can.
Yeah. No, you can just show that, like, feel free to share what you want, and then hopefully by then people can start asking us questions. But yeah, you don't need to tell the full story, but please show us some of your pieces. Yeah. And just to let people know that there are 2 different tours. There's one in Amman and there's one in Hashmi. I've only attended one of those. In my next trip, I'll definitely try the other one. You can also tell us about those tours.
Yeah, thanks for bringing this. Should we talk about it now?
Yeah, there's some sneak peek photos coming up. So.
Okay, we can. Yeah,
Yeah.
you lead it.
So, yeah. So these pictures we saw so far, they're part of what we call downtown tour. And downtown tour, we go through 3 different neighborhoods here in Amman. Starting from Rainbow Street, Jabal Amman, then we go to downtown, then we go up to Webde, and through I would say the center of the city actually, where it has this old shops and old buildings, and we see the street art inside the city. Yeah. And the other tour, when we reach up to the picture, I will explain about it.
Definitely.
Right. I think this piece here, I think it connects to me also personally and directly, because this one is done by a Jordanian street artist, a female street artist. She called herself Yaraton. And I also know, I would love to share this information. About 70% of street artists in Jordan are actually women. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually more female and women are doing street art more than guys in Jordan, which is also different than anywhere else. And Yaraton, she usually like to talk about mental health issue, especially for kids and refugee kids. So that's why she paints kids in very vibrant colors, but in contrast, she leaves their eyes are empty and also their ears and their heart. And for Yaraton, she said this is a sign of their needs to bring more awareness about the mental health issue. Yeah.
That's fine. I have a couple of questions, and this is fascinating actually. The 2 questions are: do you have tours for children, and any future plans to elaborate with schools to teach children this art? And the other one around how often do you run those tours?
Do you want to answer?
Sure, I do all the booking, so we run our tours. Well, we have a schedule on our website that tours are available Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tuesdays and Saturday. Tuesdays and Saturdays are Hashmi, and Sunday, Thursday, Friday are downtown. They don't always fill up, so I try to bring people together on a common day. Generally, most of our weekend tours will run. often people are excited to come on a weekend in the morning. And then we get tourists on the weekdays in the afternoon. Especially now in winter, we have to do it by 4 p.m. So working people can't come in the afternoons. But in summer, we do them at 5. So sometimes people can come after work. But yeah, it all depends on the season. I mean, we did 21 tours in May. We did 23 tours in October. Those are the high months. And then we kind of taper off on either side of them. So yeah, it all depends on the tourist season.
But people can check your website for updated information on that.
And we're always also posting on social media whenever we have a tour confirmed. And if it's more than 4 people, then we can confirm a tour right away. So we can confirm groups that come right away.
And for each of these tours, you basically accept donations, or you recommend donations of 10 JDs per person. And like from experience, I've done the one in Amman, between Jabal Amman, El Balad, and going up to Webde. And just to Hanada, who's asking about children, I took my children, and there were other children on the tour. The tour is suitable for both adults and children, and it's the storytelling and the fascination of, you know, everything. Like you really become, I don't know, like it's like a dream almost. And yeah, like I think both adults and children enjoy it, and it's like have some good shoes, because it's a 2-hour walking at least. And someone is asking, what do you mean by the Hashmi tour? I'll let you answer that, but there's another tour that they do in the Hashmi, in the Hashmi area. And I guess once you start showing pictures from that, you can talk about it.
I'll just add about the donation. So generally walking tours is kind of a culture of tipping, but we also chose to do this specifically because we want this tour to be accessible to everyone. We want students to be able to come. We want Jordanians to be able to come. We want people to be able to see this art, and that the entrance fee doesn't hinder that. So some people are willing to pay more. Some people are unable to pay 10. So it works out in the middle to about 10.
Yeah, I was fascinated that when we did it, there were like American tourists, but there were also some British. There were people from Amman themselves. There was a professor, and there was a choir group who actually invited us. So there was like a mix of people that was also beautiful, because we had discussions while we were walking through the streets of Amman. Yeah, it's truly enjoyable. I can't recommend it enough.
And
So.
I think the best part about COVID for us was that we received a lot more Jordanian visitors, because we mostly tourists were coming on the tour, about 75–80% tourists or expat residents in Amman. But COVID allowed, people wanted to get out of their homes. They want to do a safe activity that's walking. And so without fail, every Jordanian that comes on our tour says, I feel like I've traveled. Like, this is not my country. I didn't know about this. I didn't know this was in Jordan. And so that's the most exciting part for us, I think.
Yeah, totally agree.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I'll let you go through the slides. Sorry, we can chat about this for hours.
And by the way, also part of the donation, it goes to the street art community and for youth to support like these programs and different stuff.
No, that's important to know, because even for us at the Anglo-Jordanian Society, our strategy for the coming year is to focus on enabling youth or youngsters. And when we say youth, I don't mean only, you know, people in their 18 and 20s. I'm finding in Jordan at the moment, young people of the age of 30s and 40s, sometimes they lose hope, and they need a new way to relive life and be given this new opportunity and chance. And so if anybody who's listening to us, or you guys know of also other initiatives that kind of support those individuals who find it hard to get out of bed in the morning, even because of being so overwhelmed with the pressures of life, we would love to support those more. And at the moment, last year we've supported our charities that kind of had a focus on children and refugee children, so next year will be more around young people and enabling, empowering. We're even thinking about a mentoring kind of activity. So that's just to let you know that your initiative aligns also with our strategy in the coming year.
Amazing. Yeah. I also see the question about tours for children and schools to teach kids. We can address that at the end. It's part of our dream and our vision. I just want to make sure we get through the slides. So yeah.
But please go ahead.
Yeah, well, I think because we've mentioned talking about children, youth in general, excuse me. So yeah, I think street art and hip hop culture and art in general, that really like took me personally. This is also a personal message from, I would say, the streets where anything can happen, right? Like anything good or bad. And some people in the street, they go for drugs or stuff like this, especially when they have like bad education and economy and so many things. So I think street art, hip hop, art in general motivates people to be more creative and to use this energy of youth instead of putting it in different places. No, you focus it in your art and to become artist and to create and to express these emotions and feelings in a different way, which is, I think, it's very, very healthy addiction, as my friend said. Yeah. So yeah.
People don't know, Ala, that you are a civil engineer, and you're kind of utilizing that knowledge to to the street art. So that's a story to be told as well.
Yeah. So I actually, yeah, I work as a survey engineer for 7 years. So I was an engineer for 7 years. I worked in Jordan and also in Saudi Arabia for 2 years. And after my 7 years of experience, I find myself more in art, and I love this city. I love Amman. So I wanted to show this image about it and to share more art in general and to support youth as well who faced very difficult situation. So that's why I decided to quit engineering and to keep going with art. And I'm so happy, like I'm so glad, I'm so blessed that I did that. Like my life is much more happier, I'd say.
That's
Because
really good. By the way, we had I think 3-4 months ago, Maran, who's also a civil engineer from Jordan, Maran Maya, and she started Al Hadaf Institute for orphans and for refugees. And again, she found her passion, and she found herself more into this field that empowering people than engineering. So it seems civil engineers have always different pathways.
actually, it's common. Like, yeah, there is few artists who quit engineering and they're doing art now.
If you're an engineer out there, call us. Direction.
I will give you an inside story, actually.
Yes.
I've never told it in a tour or something, but it just came up. So we had a breakdancer in Amman. He was actually an Iraqi refugee who grew up here in Amman, and he was really super talented in breakdance and street art. So he used to do street art as well. And he studied also engineer. He was an engineer. I'm not sure which type of engineering he used to do. Then he actually moved to the US in 2015. And recently, this artist, he started doing NFTs, the digital art, and he became very, very, very successful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know he made something very, very unique and special. So he designed like shoes, but it looks like a celebrity, like the shoes that he designed. It looks like someone you know.
Oh, wow.
So unique, yeah. So yeah, I think a few months ago, he sold this NFTs. I think he reached up to $1 million. So that's a huge like jump. I wonder, yeah, following passion.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So also, I'm sorry, do you want to say something?
No, I say please go ahead, continue with us on the tour as well.
Good. All right, so then we see also in Amman, there is a street art festival. It's called Baladak Festival. And in this festival, they bring artists now from all around the globe. And it's beautiful that now the Jordanian government is sponsoring this festival and Amman municipality and different organizations. So every year it happens for like 1 week. They bring artists from Jordan and from different also countries to paint in Amman. And this mural here, it was painted in 2018 by Serbian street artist, and she called this piece the Blue Boy.
Okay.
Yeah. And usually blue color in art, it represents sadness. Because like, for example, when Picasso started painting in blue, he was in a sad time, so people consider it as a sad color. And you know the term, everything is blue, so it's kind of like everything is sad. And I think also in this one, we see how street art change through time and from different effects. Like for this one, for example, after the street artist completed this mural, there was some cracks in the wall and the municipality people came to fix it. But now it looks like they covered the kid mouth. Yeah. And if you see the 2 holes beneath his eyes, looks like a tears.
Yeah.
So now I call it the very blue boy. Very blue. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's also another piece talking about children and youth as well in Amman. Then also through our tour, we walked through very, very popular steps in actually Amman. Also one of the names for Amman, now they call it the 1 million step city, because there is so many stairs and steps. And we see here the whirling dervish from Sufism. Sufism is part of the Islam religion and like the spiritual practices, yeah, where they keep dancing and spinning in a circle, imitating the universe and everything is spinning. But also I want to mention that the calligraphy, by the way, the Arabic calligraphy in white color, and when we mix it with graffiti, we call it calligraffiti.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the mix between calligraphy and graffiti. And this is, I would say, like the Ammani flavor, yeah, for the street artist. Everyone like here love this style and appreciate it because it's in Arabic, calligraphy, and mixed with the graffiti. And most of the time it says like poetry as well and different stuff. Or sometimes just for decoration because it's very complicated to read as well. Cool. Then moving next, this is the most famous Arabic singer. And maybe in the question, can you guys guess who is this? Talking about the black and white piece on the wall next to me. I'll give you 3 seconds. Oops.
I don't know if people can type. If people can type, can someone guess?
Fairuz.
Good job.
So Fairuz is one of the most famous Arabic singers. And actually Fairuz last month, she got the title of the greatest Arabic singer of all time. And so we see also in different locations in Amman now there is few pieces for Fairuz. And Fairuz, she's 84 years old now and she's still singing, and everyone in the Arabic region, they love to listen to Fairuz music, especially during the morning, because she has such a beautiful voice. So I think if you guys are watching, you can copy Fairuz, check out her music so you can listen and just taste Fairuz music. Cool. Okay, now we're moving to Al-Hashmi tour. Al-Hashmi tour, we can see now these beautiful buildings with the street art, like the big murals next to each other. And this is a neighbor here in Amman, like 15 minutes from downtown, I would say, by car. And this neighbor, all of these buildings, they look like they have the same architecture style, which is the very basic, I would say, architecture style. You can see that the building has only windows from one side, then the other side is empty, which was perfect actually for street art. But the idea why they built this like buildings next to each other, all of these houses with the same architecture style, because they were built in 1970 for a military housing project. Yeah. And then after the Palestinian refugees came to Amman, the government decided to change this military houses into residential houses. Yeah. So in Al-Hashmi tour, we walk through this beautiful neighborhood and we see this huge, beautiful pieces by Jordanian and also international street artists from all around the globe, actually. There is more than 25 like big mural like this all around this neighborhood. And we see also Jordanian people walking around, the neighbors. It's very lovely, like to feel, you know, like how the neighborhood feels in Amman. You want to add something about Hashmi tour? Yeah, and I would say Hashmi tour also, it's easier to walk because we don't go through 3 different neighbors. It's just one neighbor, and we go like we do a circle around this neighbor. Yeah, and it's more flat, not like Jabal Amman way downtown. So yeah, it's much more easier from that place.
Just looking at the picture makes me want to stare at it more and more. And you see a lot of detail and a lot of yeah, like thoughts behind these paintings. It's really, yeah, it's really beautiful, simply.
Listen, Mais, every time I go there, right, I do the tour. We started this one actually a year ago in this location. And every time I go before the tour, I just stop and look at the pieces, like how beautiful they are, like the details and the amount the artist put to show it like this. There's something really unique about this neighborhood, I'd say.
And the proximity makes a really big difference too. Like I had seen images of each of these pieces, but it's not until you actually go to the neighborhood. They're so close together. It's like you're walking through a garden of murals, and it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
In an East Amman, like traditional neighborhood. It's like, where am I? What's happening?
You really don't expect this in the neighborhoods of Amman,
Exactly.
like, at all. Like, yeah, like when you talk about South America, you kind of think of that, or Latin culture, or like, but when you talk about a Jordanian kind of neighborhood culture with such expressions of art is brilliant, really simply brilliant. This is also in Hashmi.
Yes.
Okay.
It's also in Hashmi. Yeah, so I said there is 25 murals, but I think now there are more. There is more actually coming also soon. And you can see other pieces. Also, this is in Hashmi as well. And here's the people with me in the Hashmi tour. I had so many people at this tour, so I'm happy
You can
to
see here more expats.
So, quick sharing story about this artist here. His name is Suhaib Attar. And this artist, he grew up actually in Hashmi, the neighborhood we were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I think it's beautiful to mention how one person, a dream, can change at least his neighborhood. So now where he grew up, because he started there and also invited artists to come and paint in the neighborhood, and he convinced the people as well. Now his neighborhood is a place where people go to take pictures and to visit and to see street art. And it's just because of one person, like without funding and without anything, right? Yeah.
And like I always tell when I give sometimes speeches at schools, and I always tell them, if you feel you can sleep in a room with one mosquito, then you can imagine the impact of one person on this community, because these people that will visit, they're not only just going to walk around the streets, they'll stop at the corner shop and they'll buy water and crisps. They'll discover something else, or they'll decide, oh, we'll have lunch here. So you're kind of moving the economy in a way that's unexpected. And I truly believe that, like even when you visit Barcelona, like, it was, the whole city was changed by one artist. And I feel we need to believe more in oneself and the passion behind it. And yes, you can change communities and nations, even by, leading the change. So no, this is, yeah, I haven't met this, but now I'm looking forward to visiting the neighborhood in my next trip, definitely. I can see we have two questions. One is saying, would you be able to find an artist to paint something for the Anglo-Jordanian Society? It will be very special. Maybe we should do a piece of art where people would fund it, actually, from the UK, and then that would be a statement of but I think that AJS is more an enabler for others. So but it would be nice to have an art piece expressing that. That's a nice idea. Thank you for the attendee who's proposed that. The other question from Rula says, how do you preserve street art? Can anyone go and paint over it if they have a permission?
All right. Yeah, so I think for street artists in Jordan, we understand that street art is in the street and it's from the people to the people, and anything can change it. So we don't really want to protect it or to preserve it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we usually say it's part of its life circle. So whatever we paint, it's there, we put our message or we express ourselves. Then it's up to the different, I would say, effects to change it, right? So sometimes you can't, it's very difficult to preserve it. And also, I think we have so many walls in Amman that we need more colors. Yes. So I think it's great it's okay. Like if it's gone, we'll paint something else that will keep the artists motivated and to have an empty like canvas so they can paint on the street.
Yeah, we have enough surfaces for everyone to express themselves. But I would say, like, does it get documented at least? Because the thing is, it tells a story of a certain era or period, and I think it would be nice, even if it's later changed. Does it get?
Yeah, so definitely. Actually, as Underground Amman, we document. So most of the time we go and we take picture, and we support also the artists. We bring them cans, spray can and stuff. And also we document like على طول, always. And also we help and build a website for street art in Jordan. It's called jordanstreetart.com, where we build a map where you can see all these pieces, their location and the history. If like there is a piece was painted over a piece, so you can see actually through this website the history for any wall in Amman.
The layering of it. And I remember you mentioning you would also, one of your aspirations is to do a book about the street art.
Yes.
Yeah. Rula says she also wanted to ask about the documentation. So yeah, that kind of gives you a signal that there are more than one person saying, please publish a book about street art.
Yeah, we would love to. This is one of our dreams, I would say.
we must connect you with one of our other speakers, which is Jabal Amman Nashirun, who spoke to us also about how he's documenting Amman in his way. And so, yeah, maybe we should connect our speakers together, and you'd start a project.
Sure. Beautiful.
Cool.
I'll just
I'm
quickly.
just aware, sorry, I'm just
Oh, no,
aware there are 5 minutes. So if there's any further questions, please post them now, because I'm aware there's 5 minutes to our webinar, and I'll let you also finish with what you wanted to say, Hannah, but also I wanted first tell us about the event that's coming, and if you have a message that you want to leave for whoever is listening now or whoever will listen later of the recording. Yeah, any statement or message you want to leave with them, but I'll let Hannah also say what you wanted to say.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm also aware of the time. I just wanted to get through the last few photos. This is a very recent graffiti jam on the 4th, I believe, where artists just get together and collaborate, paint, try new styles. This was a factory in the Yasmin area that one of the street artists just got in contact with the owner, and he said, yeah, you can paint my wall. So they came down all together on a Friday morning, and they learn from each other and they have fun together, and it's really great. So we were really happy to be able to sponsor this event as a way to reinvest. So that's really, really important to us. And that's part of our dreams. Another investment, this is Yamin. He has been doing tours for us as well. So we've been so busy that we needed to hire another tour guide. And he's in university studying architecture and also a young street art. Actually, he is on the left here painting.
Oh, wow.
So he's been doing tours for us and having a lot of fun as well, which has been really fantastic. And so just finding all these new ways to be able to invest in artists and in the community. And one of our biggest dreams right now is to create a hip hop cultural center where we can teach classes to kids. One of our bigger dreams is to get into the school system, but we know that's tough. But I remember ever since I met him, he always talked about he never had an art class growing up in public school. So that's like one of the bigger dreams. But for now, maybe we can rent a space and be able to run a hip hop cultural center to continue breaking down these stereotypes and continue investing in the next generation who are finding it difficult to, express themselves in ways that aren't always accepted by society here. It's getting better, like we said, but it's still not there yet. So we really want to have a safe space for people to show up and practice these art expressions.
Wow.
Yeah.
We must then connect you also with Madrasati Initiative that are initiating those art classes into schools in Amman. So I'll make sure you get to know the CEO of that initiative as well.
Great. And
Great.
yeah,
I love this.
maybe this is our message.
Yeah. Is this, did we talk about this question?
I just saw the question.
Yeah. So do you want to read the question? I think there is a question.
Yeah. It's basically Richard is saying, I'm also interested in Jordanian hip hop. What do you recommend I listen to, and any live music venues worth checking out?
Sure. Maybe I can send to my or someone the list. I will make a list or a few artists and I will send it to you.
Yeah, definitely. If you send it to the Anglo-Jordanian, myself and Dima will make sure it's distributed to the attendees here and whoever asks about it. And we can even leave a link that people can always refer to if they're listening to the recording. Definitely.
Beautiful. Great. And finally, maybe so we're having a hip hop jam and also a hip hop gallery for the first time in the Jordan National Gallery of Fine Art. So we're gonna put the street art and hip hop inside the museum. It's gonna be next month, starting from the 11th of December, and it's gonna last for 1 month. And I just want to say I'm so happy and glad to do this and to be able to now present street art and hip hop inside a fine art gallery. Yeah.
Wow. Keep us updated on that, and maybe we can send it in our newsletter to our members so they know what happened there. And it's perfect timing because of Christmas. A lot of the Jordanians living in the UK go back. So we'll make sure that message also gets across to them so they visit the museum.
I'd love to see them when they come either to the gallery or to the tour.
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. Cool.
Thank you so much for this space. It's been such a pleasure.
No, thank you for coming and spending. And I know it's very late now in Amman, and just it would be worth like to finish this if you I know this is your statement, but is there something you wanna say to end our webinar tonight?
Why are you guys looking at me?
From the heart, Ala.
The heart. So thank you so much for everyone who attended and who's watching or will watch. And thank you for organizing this beautiful webinar. And I think I'm so happy. Beautiful time actually go very fast. I did not really feel the time. I'm really surprised that now it's done. I would love always to stay in touch and with AJS and also all of you guys and maybe have longer conversations. And yeah, maybe to meet and talk and to have discussions and to show and to see and to touch like the beautiful art in Amman and everywhere.
Thank you so much, Ala. Thank you also, Hannah. And it was really fascinating. And thank you for taking us on this virtual tour. But as Rula and Hannah, everybody's have enjoyed it, but also they're looking forward to coming to Jordan and experiencing it in real time. So really appreciate your time and definitely we'll be in touch. Thank you again. And thank you for everyone who joined us tonight.
1 minute. Yeah. So I think, yeah, the main message, which is I think I would love to share, which is peace, love, unity, and having fun for everyone. And thank you so much. Have a lovely good night.
Thank you. Thank you. What a nice way to end it. Thank you, everyone.
All right, see you
Good
guys.
evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.